The first step we have to do is start going around the house to scavenge for materials for our two dragons. The best thing to do is to look for some paper towel rolls or toilet paper rolls. Then we're going to look for some yarn, string, even broken elastics will do. Then we want some coloring materials like markers and crayons. If you're really brave, you could even use paint. We're going to need some glue, or we could even use some tape for this. Then we're going to want pieces of paper. It could be tissue paper, construction paper, even plain paper just colored. Let's see if we can find some safety scissors or regular scissors. And then finally, we're going to need something for eyes. These could be buttons, some googly eyes, cotton balls, whatever you have laying around the house. Once you have all your materials, the first thing you're going to do is grab your paper towel rolls and you're going to start decorating. Now this could be anything you want. Maybe you're just going to put some paper around one of your tubes and you're just going to use it that way. Here we can use a little bit of tape. And that could start with the dragon's head right there. Maybe we're going to grab one of our tubes and we're simply going to start coloring it. Be creative. You get to decorate this any way you want. There's no right way to design your dragon. I haven't seen one out in the wild. Maybe you have, so maybe design it that way. Use anything you can find around the house. Use some scraps, maybe you got some popsicle sticks. It's totally up to you. Just remember, we want to save a little bit of area somewhere on your paper towel roll for the eyes. So I think I'm ready to go. I've got my two dragons here. Remember, one's going to be the dragon blower, and the other one's going to be the little dragon game that we're going to make. So to start off, I think I'm going to use the cotton balls and put them on my one dragon. We're going to go grab our glue. So we put a little glue on the cotton ball there, and we're simply going to stick it right onto my dragon. This is going to be one of his eyes. We'll do that to the other one as well. And pop it right on there too. Now, I like these because it looks like my dragon's eyes are kind of puffed up above his head. Now you're going to have to set this aside to let it dry a little bit, and we can move on to the next one. So with my other dragon, I'll let you choose. What should we do? So I'll give you a choice of using some buttons, googly eyes, or maybe these ping pong balls. You choose. Which one should I use? Oh, I'm hearing a lot for both these ones. All right, you got it. Let's use both of these ones. So what I should do first then is, I think I'm going to glue these ones on using that glue we just did with the cotton balls, and I'm going to glue those onto the head. And there we go. So those eyeballs are glued on. Now let's add the googly eyes. There he is. That looks so cool. You guys made a great choice to add googly eyes and the ping pong balls. So much so that I think the other dragon, we're going to add that stuff too. Let's call him Buttons. I think that's appropriate. So here's my two dragons so far. Let's finish decorating them up, and then let's get into our games that we're about to create. So here we go. They are both finished. I found lots of things around the house and outside to help me finish them off. With my little guy here, I just found this old plastic bead that I added. And then for this one, I went outside and found these really cool rocks in the driveway. And all I did was glue them on there. They kind of look like his spiky nose there. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to set Buttons aside, and we're going to do that cup and ball game first with this guy here. Alright, so for our Dragon Cup and Ball game, here's what we're going to need. We're going to need scissors, tape, string, and then you're going to need that little weight, whether it's going to be a washer, maybe it's a button of some kind, but this is going to be at the end of our dragon. So, first thing I want you to do is make sure you get some help if you need some help when you're cutting the string with the scissors. You're going to make about, maybe about a foot. But you're going to find and play and adapt with this, but the longer the string is, the more difficult the game is, and you'll see why later. So the first thing I'm going to have you do is, you can either tape it, but because I'm using this washer that I found, I'm just going to go in, and I might need some helping hands on this one too. I'm just going to tie a knot in here, just the good old traditional granny knot, just like that. So it's nice and firm, and the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my tape, and I'm going to take off a little piece of tape, put one side on the end, and the other one is actually going to go inside the mouth. And you're going to push it down so it sticks really good. You might want to put a couple pieces of tape in there just because the string might come loose. You could even glue it. There we go. So, when I play with my cup game here, the goal of this game is to get that washer, let's pretend that's something that the dragon's about to eat, into the cup. Seems really simple. They were playing this long ago in the old days. And let's try it once, two, three. Oh, missed. So, this game is made, my Dragon Cup Ball game. So, keep trying to get that cup in if you want. Oh, there we go. We got one in. You can see it went through. Oh, gotten 3. Awesome. So, go ahead and try and make your own cup game. Make the string longer, and you can really swing it to see if you can get that game in there. Next, let's go to our Fire-Breathing Dragon. Now, for our Fire Breather, what we're going to need for him is we're simply going to need some of our tape, and we're going to need our paper or tissue paper because we're going to be cutting out strips. That's going to be the fire. So once again, you might need an older person to help you. You're just going to cut out a bunch of strips, and the greatest thing is, don't worry if they all look the same or look different, because we're going to be very creative, and it's going to look like fire when it's done. So once you cut out a lot of these, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take the tape. You're going to pull off a long strip. From that strip, you're actually going to put the tape sticky side up. This is the hardest part, trying to get that to lay down without it sticking to your fingers. There we go. Sometimes what you can do to make it easier is you take a little piece of tape and you actually stick it on the end and stick it down there. Like that. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take our paper strips and we're just going to put them all around that. We're going to stick them right on there. Now they don't have to be perfect. Really change it up. I've even got some tissue paper here that I cut out ahead of time to really add to it. So we're going to stick all this paper on. Now that we have all our paper on, all we're going to do is we're going to take our tape and we're going to start rolling it. And when you roll it, make sure you don't go any bigger than the size of the paper towel tube. So you want to make sure it goes in there. So I'm just going to roll this whole thing up. Once again, don't worry if it doesn't look good. We're not worried about that part. And then I'm just going to tape it right on the end with its own tape. So here you can see I've got a crazy little pom-pom thing going on. Now, all I want to do is I want to take this. Now, I can use glue or I can use tape, and I'm going to put it in here right inside the dragon's mouth. So there it is. We've designed the fire-breathing dragon. It's just missing one thing. Do you know what that is? You nailed it. It's us! It needs our jet propulsion coming through here by us blowing down the tube and through the fire beneath. So let's give it a try. We'll see if it can work on the camera. And count me down. Ready? Amazing job. Our fire breather works. And let's not forget about our awesome little Dragon Cup game. Good job, everybody.